Hello. Hi. My name is Lamine. Welcome to my channel, Lamine the Ad Guy, where we talk about advertising and marketing and everything in between. Today, we're going to be talking about AI in advertising. So, a little backstory. I was talking to one of my friends who is a programmer. He works with computers, and ideally he loves and would want to be someone who works in AI, who works with artificial intelligence and creating an easier way for people overall. And there was two things that came to mind. The first thing was Wall-E, the movie Wall-E. I don't know why, but anytime I think of AI, I think of Wall-E. I don't know why. I don't understand. And what was the second thing? The second thing is, yes, it's pretty much like a robot that can learn and is learning with time like a human can, pretty much. My friend asked me a question of whether or not he believes that my job, which is advertising, digital advertising specifically, would be obsolete with AI technology. And I thought I would make a video about that. It's interesting. It's an interesting take because what I do now is I utilize a little bit of AI technology to help with some of my campaigns that I do. And let me go back before I go into that. So, artificial intelligence, from what I know, deals with a machine that is able to learn, and usually in the form of data. It is able to make decisions based on data. And these machines can be utilized in all different ways for a lot of industries, actually. I was checking, when you're on Google, for example, and you're typing specific keywords into the engine, and sometimes it gives you like what it thinks you're gonna say. So if you're thinking about typing in like Ryan Reynolds, for example, and it says like Ryan Reynolds birthday, and you put Ryan Reynolds B, it predicts that you're gonna say birthday based on what a lot of people have been thinking about Ryan Reynolds' birthday. That's one example of AI technology. Another one is when you are taking a photo on Facebook, for example, and it's able to show you the different people's faces in the photo, like different people's face in the photo, and it kind of gives you like a predetermination of who that person is. It's like, is this who this person is? And you can tag them into the photo. That's AI, when this information is able to make decisions quickly. Advertising, specifically in digital advertising, utilizes AI in a lot of ways, specifically in like audience development and segmenting, able to show people ads who are more likely to take action afterwards because they saw the ad. It's like a predisposition. Google, for example, Google Ads, it's one of the top ad platforms in the world. They have a lot of AI technology where it's learning the campaigns as it goes along. Of course, you can do like manual management, but they have like smart management for like maximizing conversions or maximizing clicks or enhancing CPC for better results and all these different AI things. And what it does is that it learns the campaign over time, and it learns the behaviors of the people who come on your page or who visit your page, and they are able to make decisions from that data. They also can take information from your actual website and the audience and create audiences that might, be more likely to like your ads. Facebook has that feature as well. It's called lookalike, where they kind of take information from your website or the people who've converted or resulted in some kind of action, and you can create audiences of other people who have these same data points or like same behaviors and interest, and target them, and they're more likely to take action. It's all about the data, pretty much. Now let's go back to my job. So, to me, advertising does use AI right now. It's not as fully operated as you would think, but there are features in digital advertising that play a role in AI. It's not as manual in some forms, especially with a lot of the ad platforms. I know that you can make transactions with vendors of specific websites and media on websites and bloggers and things like that, and you can kind of place your ads on that manually and get information that way. But a lot of the platforms that a lot of the revenue from digital advertising goes to these big platforms that have a lot of automated features for someone who might not be so knowledgeable on the manual side of implementing a campaign. Does that put me in a predicament? It does, but not to the extent that I think my friend was saying. I don't think my job would be like obsolete. I think that with time, just like any job, it develops and it evolves. And advertising has always evolved from it just being print, right? When print was still a thing, and print is still a thing, I still use paper, I still like magazines, to radio, right? Transmitting that air broadcast, to television, to digital. Advertising has always been evolving and changing and moving, and Advertisers has always been in the picture for that. A lot of these AI machines need data. It needs large amount of data sometimes to make really valued decision, because all it is just probability and predicting the likelihood of something going that way. And so it's all about taking a little bit of risk. And sometimes with AI, they're more likely to get it right based on the data that they have. But I still feel as though that data that they get is data that an advertiser or a marketer who understands audience and who understands the segmenting and who understands the people that they're supposed to reach would find would find it valuable, those are the people that have to input that data into the machine in some form of a way, you know? And that's what I do now. A lot of the work that I do now is me plugging in targeting and data points into this machine so it can create some type of mechanism for the campaign to work correctly. And that is part of the job. So it's funny in a way. I was reading a article on IBM. You've all heard of IBM. They're this big, computer company. I'm gonna say technology company, but IBM is huge in like technology. And I don't know if you heard of Watson, the AI machine, and all their input into creating a more technology based world, I guess. I don't know their actual slogan. But there's an article on IBM that talks about how AI is changing advertising. And it goes about talking about how it's like predicting behavior, and it's changing the way marketers look at advertising, and now you have more information and you can make more proactive decisions versus reactive decisions, and you'll be able to create better experiences for the user and also get a better return, which that's great for people who invest in advertising, like marketers who invest in advertising. And it's wild. Usually I would hear a lot about AI in audience and targeting segments. I understand that part, but now AI is starting to create ads as well. It's going past just the data part and focusing on the graphics and the text and the copy of the ad, which is a lot of creative jobs where you are supposed to feel something with the ads to get you to click on it, and now it's given that job to a machine, and they're creating ads itself that would, I guess, get you to click on it eventually. And apparently there's a lot of data that shows that the ads that the AI does create, the AI machine does create, is personalized for the user. And apparently the user wants that experience. They want the ad that they see to be personalized to them and what they need, not for the whole mass audience. And with AI, they're able to create these dynamic ads or dynamic campaigns where the information is personalized a little bit more versus just a broad stroke of that campaign. It's interesting. It's so interesting. And so let's say someone who is in need for shoes, right? And you have an ad that shows your store because they're in need for shoes, but it just shows your store. And so it's not something specifically. But let's say there was an ad that was someone who was looking for a specific type of shoe, right? And your ad shows up because you have that specific type of shoe. You show them a great deal with the shoe itself. Are they more likely to buy the shoe then because it's so personalized versus just a normal brand ad because they have shoes? That's a whole different a wild experience for the user, and they get to really get an ad that's personalized for them. I don't know how robust the AI machines are. I can tell you now that I feel as though that advertisers specifically are going to be around. They're not going anywhere. They might adopt a lot of these new machines to help the marketer get better results, but I do feel like it's going to be their job at the end to move with the times and evolve with what's going on. And I don't know if an AI machine can get content to be viral or get the words to make sense, to get it to feel something, you know? Like, you can't take away the human experience, you know what I mean? But it's kind of cool, and I like learning about this stuff and reading up about this stuff. You know, my friend who is a programmer and he wants to work in AI, he doesn't understand that there is a sense of human interaction that needs to be done for AI to make sense for the person. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link of this IBM article in my YouTube, well, in the description, and just take it from there. You know, I want to learn, I want to hear what you all have to say, or I want to see what you all have to say and what you feel about AI. Don't forget to like and comment under this video and subscribe to my channel so we can get more information about that stuff. All right. Sorry for the glare.